Well, good morning, troops. I am, of course, Eric Fisk from the Fedora Chronicles. Probably, if you're watching this, you already know who I am, and that's probably redundant. I wanted to talk about something that I've sort of kept under wraps during the Artemis II mission. I didn't want to say anything that would detract from that excitement, and I didn't want to post anything that would take away our attention from what was going on last week. And I have a habit of getting really excited about a topic and making that my focus and my dominating my sole attention. It's kind of like the opposite of ADHD. And one of the things I wanted to cover was the cancellation of Starfleet Academy. And if you follow the Fedora Chronicles, especially the Fedora Chronicles Facebook group, I post a lot of space news. I post a lot of news about space exploration, astronomy, new scientific discoveries. It's one of the things that I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about the entire topic of exploration, and science falls underneath that umbrella. Sorry for the noise. Everything should settle down here soon. So, the least watched and the most maligned Star Trek show in the history of the franchise was canceled after the final episode of the first season was aired. And you can't say it was aired. It was just, they don't air anything anymore. Everything is just like, it's a Paramount Plus exclusive from what I understand. And when I was much younger, I was a fan of Star Trek. I actually enjoyed the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. Never got into Voyager. I stopped watching it like 5th season. And Enterprise, if I watch 20 episodes, that's a lot. Even back then, I thought it was too much of a good thing. I thought at the heyday, like the height of its popularity, or kind of broke into the mainstream. I think that after that it started going downhill. And then there was nothing for a while, and then there was the Jar Jar Abrams take on Star Trek back in 2008, and the rest is history. I don't know how the hell this happened, but they allowed Alex Kurtzman to be a showrunner of 3 Star Trek series. I think there was Discovery, Strange New Worlds, and Starfleet Academy. I watched Discovery, didn't like it. It's another one of those series where it's like I stopped watching it before the series finale. Really digging Strange New Worlds, and then somewhere in season 3 I just stopped caring. I don't care anymore. And I've caught a couple of clips of Starfleet Academy, not interested at all. The writing is bad, the acting is bad, the premise is bad. Everything about this show just like rubs me the wrong way. And I'm going to tell you that I'm glad that it's canceled. And I know that this is going to upset a lot of people. But the people who are going to get upset, I don't care about. If you're upset over the fact that I say that it's a good thing that Starfleet Academy was canceled, It's not that it's like I don't care. I'm actually happy that you're annoyed by the fact that I said that. I despise bad writing. And I also despise fantasy that makes up a set of rules and then breaks those rules. I know it's a fictional TV show. I know it's a fictional series. I know that there have been, I don't know, maybe the original 6 movies in the franchise were pretty good. There's aspects of William Shatner's Final Frontier that could have been better, but there are aspects of that I still enjoy. It's all about the writing. You have to start with good writing. And if you don't have good writing, there's no amount of special effects that's going to fix that. And if you write lousy characters, or if you write dumb characters, and they're all interchangeable, except for a few little cosmetic things, you're going to have a failure of a show. Your show is going to fail. That's the number one thing. And then there's the acting, and I don't need to really get into the acting all of that much. It just felt like NCC 90210. It felt like Star Trek Beverly Hills teenage melodrama. And if that's what your thing is, go watch that. Enjoy, knock yourself out. The other thing that really annoyed me about Starfleet Academy is the way the fans were attacked. They were aggressively attacked by people like Robert Picardo, some of the other actors in the show, Holly Hunter. The whole thing is that they said that if you don't like Starfleet Academy, well, it's not for you, and Star Trek was never for you. And if that's your attitude, then I'm not going to watch your show. I'm already not watching the show because of the bad acting and the bad writing. But now that you're going to attack the fans, well, now I'm really not going to watch the show. And now I actually hope that it fails. And I'm okay with that. What I think that a lot of people fail to realize is that Starfleet Academy was bad for the brand. It's bad for the brand because you took an idea or a concept that could have applied to any franchise, and you stuck the Star Trek label on it. And there's about, how big is the petition now? Let's just say it's 40,000. There are 40,000 people out there who will watch anything that has the Star Trek label on it. And they will say that if you don't like this, then you're not a fan and you never will. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. That's kind of silly. For the same reasons why I didn't like Starfleet Academy. I didn't like Star Trek Acolyte. Because the showrunners said that they were going to, quote, fix what George Lucas got wrong with Star Wars and what Gene Roddenberry got wrong with Star Trek. Well, that's the height of arrogance. You're going to tell me that you need to fix what George Lucas got wrong with Star Wars. Let's see you do better. Oh, they did. They tried. And they failed. I really sort of hesitate to say this because it also gets into what I think is wrong with fandom. Besides the fact that whenever you're a fan of something, it's always passive to an extent. Whereas they need you, it's a one-way street. They need you to go down their one-way street. You need to be sitting and watching or consuming their products. It's all about you bringing that stuff into your life, and it's like there's not a lot of fan activities that you can do that is outward. I mean, in our club, as it were, there's a lot of people who are doing like into cosplay, and some people are making fan movies and all like that, and that's awesome. But there's the whole notion with Starfleet Academy and all these other franchises. And this is true of Harry Potter. This is true, again, once more, it's Star Wars. All of these other things where it's like, whenever they release something, you have to be a fan of it. Whenever they put the Star Trek label on something, if you're a quote Trekkie, and I hate that, and I hate that name, I hate that. I always felt like Trekkie was a little bit of a derogatory. You have to be a fan of it. No matter how bad it is, you have to be a fan of it. And if you're not a fan of it, and if it doesn't succeed, if it doesn't have good numbers, then it'll get canceled. And if it gets canceled, if Starfleet Academy gets canceled, then we'll never get any Star Trek again for a very long time, maybe 5 or 10 years. Well, I'm sorry, that has to happen. You cannot allow them to believe that this is the crap that you actually want. You cannot have a campaign to get everybody back on board watching your TV show, because, well, if it fails, then we'll never get another in the franchise. If that's the case, then maybe the franchise needs to die. Maybe the franchise needs to go away. Maybe the franchise needs to go away for a while. Oh, and I totally forgot about Star Trek Picard. I thought season 1 and 2 were derivative, and I thought that the only redeeming quality of Picard was the musical score and aspects of season 3, where we had the Next Generation reunion. But that's how bad it was. I'm talking about Star Trek, and I totally forgot about Star Trek Picard. You have to cancel bad shows, and you have to let it go. And when William Shatner said this, I thought that he was very mean-spirited and cruel, and he was. But when he did that skit back in, 1985, 86, when he said to a room full of SNL, Saturday Night Live cast members who were posing as Trekkies at a convention, get a life. I mean it when I say this. You need to get a life. And I know that must sound pretty rich coming from somebody like myself. But Star Trek, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, X-Files to a smaller extent, Indiana Jones, all of those things, that it was just like, look, that's not the end-all and be-all of life. And it is, you need a therapist. And you need a really good one. And somebody who's going to give you tough love. And if you're interested, I'll give you the phone number for mine. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sorry that I drifted off for a couple of minutes. I'm new with this, so be gentle. Or you know what? Don't be gentle. Be honest. Give it to me both barrels, and I'll start the conversation by finishing up and asking, what other franchises lasted too long? And what other series needed to get canceled and got the axe long before it did? Thanks again, troops.